And she's got a lovely chocolate souffle. I love chocolate so much.
Yeah. Happy Monday. I think this is the first time we've ever recorded an episode for a Monday.
Because it's spooky season.
Monday. I don't know how the rest of it goes. That's all I got.
Yeah.
But
It's
we're happy
Monday.
you're here. This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
And I'm Kara.
And I'm Megan.
And we're here with a Monday episode.
Because it's every weekday in October.
You all are welcome.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Yeah.
So now we have another story for you.
Oh,
wait. Are we not doing this? Because remember we were going to switch it up because it's the witches. We were going to not do 2 witches in a row.
Dang.
So it's not our first Monday episode.
No.
I don't remember when it's going to be.
Guys, this is an episode.
Let's just start again. Hi.
Hey, Megan.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh,
Hair's
excellent.
all over me. I'm shedding. Stress shedding.
Just covered.
Like a creature.
Yeah. This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
And I'm Kara.
And I'm
We've got an episode for
An
you.
episode.
An episode.
Yeah. I'm loving doing all these episodes. They're not in October.
Oh my gosh.
We get to cover so many different topics.
Yeah, you all are so welcome.
Yeah.
You get to enjoy us that much
Plus,
more.
we get to hang out more. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
What do we got today?
I have a naughty witch.
Oh. It's my favorite kind of woman.
She was known as the Queen of Witches in one article I read. Her name is Isobel Gowdie.
The Queen of
Of
Witches.
Witches.
That's great.
Yep. There's not a lot of record about her when she was younger, just because it was forever ago. But it did say that she was married to a John Gilbert, who was not a witch. He said, "Do not involve me in this witchcraftiness. This is not my thing."
Oh, but he's still like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he accepted that about her, which
He's
that's
like, "I don't care that my
that's
wife
pretty
is
great.
wild."
Yeah.
Like literally wild.
He's like, I don't understand the things you're into, but I still like you.
I still like you, and I'm kind of intrigued.
And I mean, yeah, I bet he was.
I bet yes. So then it says there's not a lot of detail about her age either. At the time of her witch trial, it was 1662. They said she could have been anywhere from her 30s to her 50s. They knew she was of childbearing years, even though she didn't have any kids.
Okay.
So,
she just looked so good. She could be anywhere from 30 to 50.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, I look like I'm 18 some
You
days,
do.
so it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so it said she and her husband lived in the Lochboy area. That was 2 miles north of Alder. Guys.
Is this like Scotland?
Yeah, I'm really
That
bad about
feels like a lock. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really bad about this, guys.
So we're in Scotland.
Yeah.
Which
it said-
means we extra don't know how to pronounce things.
Yeah. It said that her husband was a farm laborer. He was hired by one of the tenants of the Laird of Park. I don't know where that is either.
Mm-hmm.
So in return for his labor, they decided to provide him with a cottage and a small piece of land. So they got to do whatever they wanted on this property, and they lived there in exchange for him farming the land.
Like a tenant farmer type
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
One of the articles I read said that Isabel's lifestyle and social status could be compared with like the present day developing countries. She was unable to read or write, and she just kind of struggled with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But she was also like crazy imaginative.
Yeah.
And just like so funny. So she was able to like express everything that she was thinking or wanted to put out there, which was a lot.
Even though she wasn't.
Yeah. Like she couldn't read or
Reading
anything.
or
So she
writing.
didn't get her information and ideas from books is where they're getting with this. Like, well, she couldn't read. So she wouldn't have read this somewhere or like gotten this from.
So like even though she wasn't an amazing student,
Yes.
she was a pretty amazing person.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's a thing.
You're gonna think she's super amazing. You're just saying.
I already like her.
Yep. But it did say she spent her day just doing basic household chores and milking the cows and making bread, weaving, needling, just doing things she felt like
Things
doing.
women did back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also
And-
said
and
that she
today.
was stunningly beautiful with flaming red hair.
Man, these redheads are my favorite.
Yes. Like I said, obviously she was suspected of witchcraft, and it was a 6-week trial.
Ugh.
She gave many accounts of dealing with the devil.
Oh.
So she was like dark magic witch.
Yeah.
She
she had red hair, so clearly she was a witch.
And she also talked about being a part of a coven. And this is kind of when the first you hear of covens, like witch covens and stuff. Yeah. She also said that they shot arrows made by elves and feasted with the king and queen of fairies.
Oh, nice.
I just love it so much.
Yes.
Okay, so she gave a series of confessions. Like there's a list of like 4 of them that I know of. And I'll go through those. But it said there's some torture in them. It confirms popular theories about witchcraft. And this all became the keystone of the new wave of persecutions for Scotland in this time frame.
Oh, okay.
So they just kind of based everything off of
what she said.
All this craziness that she elaborates
with
on.
her big imagination.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. So it says, according to her story, she initially encountered Satan at the church of, guys, come on, Aldern, Aldern.
Mm-hmm.
So she made a pact with him, and it began with her renunciation of Christianity. The devil placed his mark on her shoulder, sucked some of her blood, and rebaptized her with her own blood. He gave her a new name. Guys, if I'm going to make a pact with the devil, I want him to name me something cooler than this.
Oh, no. What is it?
Janet.
And I shall call you
Janet.
Janet, queen of witches.
Janet. And it said as she was being baptized that she had to put a hand on her head and a hand on her foot. So she's like, I am Janet now.
Isabel is such a better name. Isabel is such a better name.
Yep.
Janet.
Janet. Yeah. Okay. So when she was telling all these stories, she was like, well, they were like, is it Janet Isabel? Janet Isabel?
I would have thought Janet was a much more modern name,
yeah.
Too. Like, I've never heard of, like, an old
1600s Janet. Maybe that's why the devil gave it to her. He knew. Do
you think she just made this all up because she was bored? Or is it all real and the devil is just, like, real boring?
I don't know. He's got
or
a nice
was
package.
it a man?
According to her, he's got a nice package.
Did she just meet some man?
He was like, I'm the devil.
And she's like, okay,
let's do this. Let me get my coven over here and we're going to.
And he's like, I'm going to call you Janet.
Okay. So they were like, Janet, how'd you get away from your husband at night? Like, he's sleeping in the same bed with you. What are you doing? She's like, I just put a broom in the bed. Just so he would think that I'm there.
Good Lord.
He probably was like, she's at it again, whatever. See her
later. He doesn't know the difference between a broom and his wife.
Yes. She went on to say that she flew through the air to her meetings, able to slay any passing Christians that she met who would possibly report her activity unless they were able to bless themselves first. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, here comes Janet. Here comes Janet. Oh God, it's Janet. Oh God, here comes Janet. She's gonna slay us. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Don't let her touch me. Spare me, oh Janet. Spare me.
It's the best scary name I've ever heard in my life. Janet.
Okay, so she had great descriptions of these witches' meetings or the coven meetings. It said there was a small group of 13 that would later become the standard in like witchcraft covens.
Mm-hmm.
It also said that she introduced him to the current term coven, and she claimed that she and her fellow witches could change into animal forms super easy, and they could also affect the weather.
Mm-hmm.
So it said if one of the witches disobeyed the devil or missed a meeting, they were punished with a whip.
Okay.
It sounds like one of those. Janet just started an underground
S&M club. Yeah.
Yeah. So her first confession described an encounter with the devil after she arranged to meet him in the kirk at night. She named several others who attended this meeting. One of them, her name was Margaret. The devil named her Margaret.
That's better than Janet.
Yeah. There were several other locations for these meetings.
Listen, if your name is Janet, you're listening.
No. But we just think if the devil's going to give you a name, maybe your parents were the devil. But if you're...
This is getting better and better or worse and worse, depending on your perspective. If your name's Janet, it's a lovely name.
We love you a lot.
It's just not.
Watch, we go to do these readings of the people that are on the Patreon, and one of them's going to be Janet.
And we're going to be like,
or Margaret. God dang it. Okay.
We love you.
We love you a lot. She also talked about having sexual intercourse with the devil, and she said he's kind of like cold, like to the touch.
Oh, I thought you meant like emotionally. And I'm like, really? No, he's the devil. I don't think he's going to be super romantic and passionate. She
did say he had forked and cloven feet, but he sometimes just wore boots on him. She said that she and the devil would go about spoiling crops together, and then the coven would help sometimes, and then they would all go dancing. The coven ate and drank of the best food at the houses that they reached by flying through the air on magical horses and entered via the windows.
Good Lord.
They were also entertained by the Queen of the Fairies in her home at Downey Hill, which was filled with water bulls, and Janet was terrified of the water bulls. She claimed that they made little effigies at the Laird's Park of male children to cause them suffering or death, and she had assumed the form of a jackdaw, which is a small crow. And with the other members of the coven who had transformed into other animals like cats and hares, they visited the houses of Alexander Cummings. Some parts of her testimony, like the description of the king and the queen of fairies, has been cut short because it said either the people just taking the notes were like, I can't keep up with this. They all got so entranced by the story. Some of them say, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
They're just like
they were like
on and on.
Yeah. Or they were just like, we can't keep this in here. Like, this is ridiculous.
Or they're just like, huh. And they forget to take notes.
Yeah.
They're just like, what?
Can I do that? How do I get in on this, Janet?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then Confession 2, it's a little over 2 weeks later in May of 62. She explained details about the coven. She gave nicknames of the members and many of the spirits that waited on them. As she remembered, her own servant spirit was dressed in black and was called the Reed Reaver.
Reed, like
R-E-A-D.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. It said that she had the ability to transform into animals. Like I said, she went over this again, and she was like, sometimes I turn into a cat. Sometimes I'm turned into a horse. Sometimes it's other animals. She provided a total of 27 chants that they did in her confessions.
27.
Mm-hmm. So she knew of all of these.
Good Lord.
So, I mean, maybe she's not faking.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's more than any other British witchcraft case. 3 were transcribed twice, but some had significant differences.
In the chants?
Yes.
Okay.
One of which that she said she used to turn into a hare was, I shall go into a hare with sorrow.
Where is it? with sorrow, sight, and makel care.
Yep.
Positive,
and I shall go into the devil's name. I. While I come home again. To change back, she would say, Hare, God send thee care. I am in a hare's likeness now, but I shall be in a woman's likeness even now.
Okay, well, you got a little lazy with that one,
She
Janet.
did. She was like, I've done 26 of these, and this is the 27th.
Hair. I'm a hair now, and now I'm going to be a woman.
I'm going to be a woman.
Thank you. The end.
And she stands up and curtsies. Okay. So Confession 3, also in May of 62. She was brought before the interrogators for a third time, and she just kind of went over everything that she had already gone over. And they're like, God, Isobel,
there she goes again.
Ridiculous. But then she was like talking about how she decided to meet with the devil again after she encountered him, and then they just started having all these meetings. And then she was like, you know what? The elves gave us arrows. They're like, what? Yeah. So then she's like, I'm going to give you those names of the ones that I've killed with these elf arrows so you can look into it.
In Lord of the Rings, isn't it the elves who are like the
oh yeah,
great weapons and
yeah,
stuff?
they are. I mean, maybe this is where...
Maybe it's where it came from.
Tolkien got the information.
Mm.
Isobel. Gosh. She said that the devil sent her on an errand, disguised as a hare. And she said, while I was in the form of a hare, a pack of dogs chased me, but I escaped them. I ran into a house and eventually had the opportunity to utter my chant. I'm not going to repeat it because, that you heard the chant a couple confessions ago, but I talked about it and then I said it. And then she said, sometimes the dogs will bite me. And if they bite a witch, you don't die. But when you turn into your human form, you have scars on you from where you got bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I just, I get that she's a lunatic, but I really enjoy her.
Yes. Yeah. She said that the arrows were enhanced because the elf boys would speak rough to them.
Speak rough.
And the devil...
They're giving positive affirmations to the arrows.
You're doing great. You're going to be strong.
You are very powerful.
You're going to kill this question. But she said the devil only gave him a specific amount of arrows to each coven member. You got to use these wisely.
Okay.
There were instructions. They were to be fired in his name, so you got to yell out "Devil" as your, I don't know what they called it. And then they didn't have boat. Yeah. What goes with Jake?
I don't know.
Bob. Jake.
Bob the devil.
Bob the devil. Yeah, that's a good, I like that a lot. Okay. So it said they didn't have any bows. They had to flick them with their thumb.
Flick them?
Flick them.
That's how they shot their arrows?
Yep.
Like,
with their thumb. But you had to use your... There's a lot of practice that goes into that.
That seems a little... That seems like the
From
most...
behind the head. They got real crafty with it.
Everybody needs to go watch the
Hold with
YouTube
their
video
foot.
just for that. Well, what? That seems like the worst way possible to shoot an arrow.
Yeah.
It seems like if anything, you would just take it in a paper airplane, shoot it. But you're going to flick it.
Yeah. But it's we obviously would be so accurate at this, but they weren't. It said sometimes it wouldn't hit the intended target.
No. Really?
She said, but sometimes it would. It could have been a woman, a man, animal, but if it was touched by the arrow, they'd die. Even if they had protective armor on it. Even if it just touched
even if they bless themselves?
Yeah. Oh, no. That's just, she can't slay them
yeah.
run over them with her magic horse or whatever she was riding that day. Because she left the broom in the bed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. And then they also used spells while they were riding and flicking arrows to inflict illness and torment on Harry Forbes, who was the minister.
Okay.
They'd run around with their elfin arrows and
poor guy.
Oh, man. They also talked about dining with the devil, and he would beat the coven members. And they also all had sexual relations with the devil, together, separate. Just the coven.
Polyamory.
The coven just did it. She talked a lot about his genitalia.
In the court, she did?
She said it was spiky, and yeah, I was like, oh.
This is definitely an underground S&M club.
Yeah, I was like, Janet.
A spiky genitalia.
And he had hooves as feet, but he wore boots.
Mm-hmm.
Boots, what the fuck?
Everything in me just clenched.
Yep. They would just always have these meals with the devil and just chant things. And she said, but she didn't tell what they were chanting. Mm-hmm. She couldn't remember that stuff.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot that she does remember.
This 4 confessions worth of things. So confession number 4, they're like, God.
Here she comes again.
Yeah,
Janet.
She's got a lot of details about this, and
here we're
done. We would like to be done. Still in May of 62. She just added all the 3 testimonies together, and they're like, oh, Jesus Christ. And so she was trying to build it all up. And then it said that she just keeps going over and over and over all these details. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to also give you the names of some people. She gives them the name of 41 people. They go and arrest all those people.
Oh, my God.
And got statements. It also says that it's noteworthy that the people Janet claims to have put curses on are like male authority figures who kind of like victimized her or abused their power in the community.
Mm-hmm.
One was her landlord. It said that he may have like sexually harassed her, and when she rejected him, he just started like saying all this crap about her.
Mm.
And then
He probably deserved to be cursed.
Yeah, she claims to have put a spell on Harry Forbes, who was the local minister.
Mm-hmm.
She just said, he's just a shame to the community. She performed for the interrogators a rendition of the chant she claimed to have used to make the minister unwell. And she said that she carefully chose the context to just like terrify him, like while they're in court, like trying to figure this out.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like, oh, now I can hear the chant.
Yeah,
Not that she was doing this in the darkness, but now it's coming to get me.
Oh man,
She's a witch. She's gonna kill me. Obviously, people suggest that she maybe made these stories up.
What?
But people were like, maybe she made them up to just like not get in as much trouble. Maybe if she denied being a witch, it would have been worse on her. But maybe if she gave all these details, she's better off for it. I don't know.
Or it's like, if I sound completely deranged, they won't believe anything.
They'll think I'm psychotic.
And that's kind of brilliant, actually.
Yes. But she also said during the interrogation that the devil said that a farm in the nearby Colburn would be smothered by sand. And then it said sandstorms do occasionally blow up from time to time on that part. So in 1694, a sandstorm raged at Colburn, burying homes and ruining estates.
Oh, wow.
Devil called it.
Yeah.
Devil caused it.
No.
Janet. In April of 62, the council had issued a proclamation prohibiting torture was being used as means of securing confession from witches. So in Janet or Isabel's case, the council advised that they should be found guilty only if the confessions had been volunteered without torture, that they were sane and without a wish to die. So there's no record of Isabel's execution. It's not unusual in 90% of the Scottish cases that the final outcome is unknown because there's not really many records. One of the hypotheses is that once the commission was returned, Isabel Janet would have been found guilty to a trial in July, transported to the Gallow Hill on the outskirts, where they've been strangled or burned.
Ugh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of her story. She just an interesting little redhead witchy lady.
I enjoy her.
That danced with the devil.
I wonder if she was just bored.
Yeah.
Or it's also interesting to me when it says like this kind of became the marker for future witch trials.
Yeah.
And it's just like all that stuff she said becomes
the future
evidence for later. That's
Yeah.
like, oh my God. And again, she has no idea the implications of all this stuff she's saying.
Yeah. And also,
or was she not making it up?
Well, and also remember we talked a year ago about how like witches would ride around on broomsticks because the wood had like LSD stuff
and they were on their way to orgies or something.
They were on their way to orgies. So what if she was just like so high that she's imagining all these things happening?
I mean,
and really she just like kicked a chicken in the field instead of like running over people and like cursing them or something. I don't know.
I mean, the part of this that I was like, well, this must all be made up is because the devil named her Janet. At that point, I was just like, well, none of this is real.
None of this is going to happen that way.
Also, just take a moment and let's all talk about the fact that that's the part I find the most unbelievable. Now that I say that out loud.
Not the devil wearing boots on his hooves.
Not the shape-shifting. Not the
riding magical.
It's the Janet
riding
part.
Magical steeds.
It's the Janet part that really makes this little.
Oh gosh,
Well, happy October, friends.
Happy October. I'm so glad you all get to see us and hear us more.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you along for the ride.
Janet's and Margaret's, we love you a lot.
And Bob's and what else? What's the other name we disparaged? They're probably all of them. We love all of you, no matter what
we
your
really
name is.
do.
Yeah, so you can get in touch with us, find all the links to everything in the show notes. Whenever we say show notes, by the way, that means the description. Wherever you're listening to podcasts,
episode,
yeah, it's on the episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Janet.